Hi everyone and welcome to this episode of Collegian Cooks. I'm Lawrence.
And I'm Skyler.
And on today's show,
we are going to cook the potato.
So today we're going to show you how to make scalloped potatoes, one of our personal favorites here. Fried potatoes, homemade potato chips, and of course, a classic mashed potatoes.
But it's more than mashed potatoes.
That's right, we're going to infuse some rosemary into it, a little bit of garlic, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
So start by washing your potatoes. Make sure you scrub off all the dirt because they can be really dirty. Then you want to cut them. Use your own better judgment to decide on the length. We like them thinner, but obviously the bigger they are, the longer it'll take to cook.
Now once you get your potatoes all sliced up just like this, you're going to want to slice up an onion as well. Depends on how much onion you like. We like a little bit more than average, so about 3/4 of the onion is what we're going to use. Feel free to use less or more at home.
And this is just a general white onion. You can choose whatever you prefer, really.
And now I'm super lazy, so I always buy my onions pre-peeled, but of course it's a little cheaper to buy them whole. It's always up to you.
Now while he's doing that, I'm going to grab the 9x13 glass pan that we'll be using for this. This is a really good pan for scalloped potatoes, mainly because it makes the potatoes cook evenly. In many ways, think of scalloped potatoes like you would lasagna. You layer everything in it, and this is the perfect pan for that.
Alright guys, we're done with our onion here, so I'm going to put that back for a later recipe. In the meantime, we're going to grab some other ingredients. You're going to need some cheddar cheese right here. What else? We have our own secret blended cheeses here, we can't tell you ours. And of course some half and half. That should just about do it for us. How could I forget? How silly of me. Of course we're going to need some bacon, guys.
Bacon!
Take your bacon and start to cube it. After that, heat up a skillet over medium heat, and once it's about ready, splash some water onto it to test whether or not it's hot enough. After that, toss your bacon on and cook for about a minute or two. You want to make sure it's cooked through but not crisp. Take a small saucepan and put it over low heat and pour half and half in. For scalloped potatoes, you need warmed cream just to make sure that the potatoes are cooked through when we put it in the oven.
So while we're about to start constructing the scalloped potatoes, we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees.
So start by greasing the pan with virgin olive oil. Now layer the potatoes evenly throughout the pan and start adding cheese. This is our secret blend. Add onions and then start with shredded cheddar cheese. Add another layer of potatoes, more cheese, and then add the warm cream. From here, add cheese and bacon, and then you'll be good.
Into the oven it goes. Cooking times will vary, but generally 20 to 30 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. I mean, the cheese will melt and you'll know it's done.
Alright guys, now that our scalloped potatoes are in the oven or baking away, I'm going to get started on our fried potatoes or homemade chips.
In the meantime, I'm going to get the water boiling for our mashed potatoes.
So you want to cut these potatoes thin just like we did for scalloped potatoes. And also we're going to be cutting a mega potato, where we're going to cut slits down it, but not all the way through, so it's still a whole potato when we fry it. Take a large pot, fill it up about 3/4 of the way with water. Now, for cooking mashed potatoes and getting the water to a boil, it's going to take a long time, so turn your heat up to high and get ready to wait a while. Now, while the water's boiling for our mashed potatoes, we're going to start frying our potato chips in canola oil that we've set over medium-high heat. I'm also going to throw in our mega potato that we cut almost all the way through. This is going to take the longest to cook, so you want to do this pretty early on. Now once your water has come to a boil, start adding in potatoes. This is very hot water, so add the potatoes in lightly. Set some half and half on really low heat. Add some sprigs of rosemary and sprinkle in some garlic. Now let's check up on our potato chips. You can see here that they're starting to fry up really nicely and they're getting golden brown around the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them. Now as we take these out, be very careful because the oil can be really hot and you can hurt yourself. We're also going to take out our mega potato, and you can see here it's fried out really nicely on the sides, but in the middle it's still very soft. This is best served with a bit of cheddar cheese, some sour cream on top, and some chives.
Now we're going to finish up our mashed potatoes. Pull them out one at a time and stick a fork in them to make sure that they're tender. Now place all of the cooked potatoes into a bowl and start mashing. Once most of the potatoes are broken down, add the cream, but just make sure to take out the rosemary. Then, mix in cheddar cheese, and then also salt and pepper to taste.
Finally, we're going to pull the scalloped potatoes out of the oven. You can tell they're done because the cheese is melted, and you can really hear the sizzle from the bacon.
As you can see here, we have our finished mashed potatoes that we've garnished with some rosemary on top. And then the final product of our scalloped potatoes was worth the wait.
And here we have our homemade potato chips, which look fantastic. And last but not least, our loaded baked potato here, which we fried.
All right, this is the first ever edition of Collegian Cooks. We hope you had fun.
And thanks for sticking with us. We hope you guys come back.
Yeah, in the meantime, we've got some dishes to do.
See you guys later. So this week we showed you all of our favorite potato dishes, and next week we'll show you our favorite meat dishes. Here's a sneak peek.
Pork chops!